Let's go ahead and go through the third additional problem from Module 7. And again, this is the same information as the second problem. The only difference is that the asset that was sold on an intercompany basis is subsequently sold to a third party before the end of its life. So again, Big owns 60% of Little. Each year, Little reports $100,000 of income. And in this case, on January 1st, 18, Little sold a patent to Big for $42,000. The patent had a book value of $30,000 and had 3 years left to run. On October 1st, 2020, the patent was sold to a third party for $5,000, and we're going to assume that Big uses the full equity method. So again, first thing we do is compute the gain or loss on sale. Book value $30,000, sold for $42,000, gain on sale $12,000, has a 3-year life, so the gain is going to be recognized at $12,000 over 3 years, $4,000 per year. Okay, so in the first year, 2018, the first order of business for our elimination entries is to eliminate that gain on sale that's being reported on Little's income statement and restore the patent to its true beginning of year book value. Again, the book value at the beginning of the year was 30. It was written up to 42 as part of the sale. We need to reduce it back down to its correct value of $30,000. Now we have to ask ourselves, do we need to recognize some of the gain this year? This asset was sold on January 1st, 18. That means the 2018 amortization expense was recorded by Big at the inflated value. So we need to correct the amortization expense, essentially undoing $4,000 of the amortization expense. For the income to the non-controlling shareholders, they're going to get their share of the reported earnings. And then we look at these elimination entries and first confirm this was an upstream sale, so this does affect the non-controlling interest. First, we put a $12,000 debit on the income statement. That makes income go down. Then we put a $4,000 credit on the income statement. That makes income go up. So the non-controlling shareholders are going to get their share, 40% of $92,000. 100,000 minus 12 is 88, plus 4 is 92. So 40% of $92,000 is $36,800. Year 2, 2019, we need to go ahead and carry forward the remaining unrealized gain or loss. Recall there was a $12,000 unrealized gain, of which we realized $4,000. So we're carrying forward an $8,000 unrealized gain. And again, we have our two questions. First, was this an upstream or a downstream transaction? This was an upstream transaction, so 40% of that $8,000 is going to go to the non-controlling interest. So 0.4 times 8 is $3,200. The remainder of that $8,000 is going to go to the parent, and here's our second question. Is the parent using the full or the partial equity method? Since we're assuming that Big is using the full equity method, that means we're going to go ahead and debit the investment in Little for their share of that. And we carry forward the $8,000 in patent value. Again, looking at the patent accounts in 2018, last year we credited the patent for 12, we debited it for 4, so we're carrying forward a net $8,000 credit. And then we go ahead and recognize another year's worth of amortization expense. The income to the non-controlling shareholders will be their share, 40%, of the reported earnings plus or minus any adjustments, and the only thing here that affects income is this credit to amortization expense. We're putting a credit on the income statement. That makes income go up. So the non-controlling shareholders get 40% of $104,000 or $41,600. In 2020, again, we need to carry forward the remaining unrealized gain. Last year, there was $8,000 being carried forward as unrealized. We realized 4,000 of it, so we're carrying forward 4,000. And again, that's going to be split between the non-controlling interest. They'll get their 40% of that. and the parent's investment, which gets the other 60%. And we credit the patent for $4,000. Okay, so again, this is sort of picking up where we left off at the end of last year. Now, instead of recognizing a full year's worth of amortization, we have to recall that this asset was sold on October 1st. So we're only going to record amortization for January through the end of September, or 9 months. So 9/12 of 4,000 is going to be $3,000 of amortization adjustment. So we're going to go ahead and undo $3,000 of the amortization adjustment. And now the asset has been sold. So what do? Again, think of what we've got on our worksheet at this time. In our elimination entries, we went ahead and put a $4,000 credit to the patent on there, and then we got rid of $3,000 of it. So there's still $1,000 of patent credit on our worksheet that we have to get rid of because we no longer own the patent. Another way of thinking of it is to say, look, at the beginning of the year, there was a $4,000 unrealized gain we were carrying forward. We realized $3,000 of it by adjusting amortization expense. The last $1,000 of that gain we're going to recognize is going to be recognized as an adjustment to the gain on sale of patent. And just to sort of confirm this, think of, let me go and get a fresh page here. Think of the reported gain versus the true gain. The reported gain. Now, again, Big owns this thing. They bought it for $42,000. They've been depreciating it at $14,000 per year. So the book value, $42,000 minus 1 year of amortization, minus another year of amortization, minus 3/4 of a year of amortization. So 3/4 of 14,000 is 10,500. So this thing has a book value, 42,000 minus 14 minus 14 minus 10.5. This thing has a book value of $3,500. They sold it for $5,000, and so the reported gain is going to be $1,500. Sale price minus book value. The true gain, again, when this thing was sold to Big on January 1st, 18, it had a book value of $30,000. And it would have been depreciated at $10,000 per year. So the true book value, or the true, I guess, is sort of an unusual word choice, is the initial cost of $30,000. They would have taken $10,000 of depreciation in 2018. They would have taken $10,000 of depreciation in 2019, and they would have taken 9/12 of a year's depreciation in 2020. So the true book value is $2,500. So the true gain, again, it was sold for $5,000, so the true gain is $2,500. So what we're doing with that last elimination entry is we're getting rid of that credit to the equipment that was floating around, and we're adjusting the gain on sale up to its correct value. We're adjusting it up from the reported gain of $1,500 up to the true gain of $2,500.